Hello and welcome to our virtual yoga class. We'll begin class laying on our back, so take a moment to get there and do so mindfully. The practice begins now as you're shifting and transitioning, laying your back on the mat. Hands can either frame your hips, palms up towards the ceiling as Shavasana is, or you can rest your hands on your belly, your chest, and then gather a breath. Your next breath cycle, inhale here, exhale, side out, release tension from earlier in the week, earlier in the day. Inviting your attention to your breath. Our breath is our focusing tool as well as our bridge, the physical, mental, emotional body, as we work on our strength, our flexibility, our balance. Inhale here again and exhale, side out. And being purposeful and emphasizing that exhale and that sighing out, because we do tend to stay in patterns of our to-do list for the afternoon or to-do list from earlier in the day, we forget our bodies, we forget our breath. And sometimes it's that exhale, that sighing out, that we start to return to the body. And also that breath helps calm the body and the mind, helps regulate the nervous system. A quick scan here, noticing your neck and shoulders, down the length of your back, to your hips, down to your ankles and toes. Invite a breath, breathing up from the toes, up to the crown of your head, exhale, side out. Noticing we're practicing creating much more spaciousness in the body. And as a reminder, there's no wrong way of doing this. If you have other thoughts, that's just part of the process. On your next inhale, we'll lift our arms up overhead, interlace your fingers. So as you're here, you can spread your palms, your fingers, lift your abdomen up towards the ceiling, point your toes. It's a gentle release and a gentle opening here. Shoulders, the length of your arms, down to the spine, upper back, mid back, lower back. Gently opening throughout the abdomen. You can point your toes here. And then release your hands. Bend both knees, so both feet float off the floor. Grab your knees with your hands. And then rock to the left, to the right. And massaging your lower back. Just a moment here, 2 moments. And then start to lift your forehead up towards your knees, chin towards chest, and hold here. You're stretching and opening throughout the back and neck, and also activating your core. Drop your head back, take one breath, inhale, exhale. And then round your spine, forehead up towards your knee, hold here, chin towards your chest. Apologies about Alexa. Now drop your head back. One generous breath here. Last round, lift your forehead up toward your knees. It's a very subtle way to warm up the body. Chin towards chest, hold. And now drop your head back. Take that left foot onto the floor. Rest your right ankle right on top of your thigh. Weave your right hand between your legs. Interlace your fingers right behind that left thigh. Now, most of your focus should be around that right hip. Hold there. You can bring your thigh closer towards your belly or chest and intensify the stretch. Our hips tend to be tight, so breathe into that boundary around the right hip. To the best of your ability, soften the neck and shoulders. We tend to activate that upper body when we don't need to. One more breath. Now release that foot, opposite side. Rest your left ankle right on top of your thigh. Weave your left hand between your legs. Interlace your fingers right behind that right thigh. Neck is soft. Chin is neutral. Belly expands. You can always intensify that stretch around the left hip by bringing your thigh closer towards you. Inhale here. And then exhale, one more breath. And then release the pose. Last round, we bring our forehead up towards our knees. Grab your knees, chin towards chest. You're holding here. Keep your elbows close to your thighs. And then don't lay your head back. Take a breath, inhale, exhale, and then rock forward, lengthening your left leg out in front. Press that right foot right against your thigh. Take a moment here to check on your posture, your spine, lengthen the spine, and then draw your shoulder back, or your shoulders down. And have a little bend to your knee. Lead through your chest and heart as you fold. Hands can reach anywhere. Hands can rest on your thigh, shin, or all the way down to your ankles and toes. You're breathing mostly into the hamstring, but you're also activating around the ankles and calves, right behind the knees. As we work on our hamstrings, we also affect around our glutes and our lower back. Notice your boundary. In order to deepen into flexibility, you want to notice where it feels challenging. Breathe into that spot. To the best of your ability, just fold a little bit more, and it can always be very subtle. We sometimes think that yoga are very dramatic movements. It's actually a lot of subtlety, a lot of small little movements. 3 more breaths here. Two more breaths here. Deep belly breath. Throughout the class, we're continuously returning to our breath. Inhale, exhale.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Take a deep belly breath. We'll start to release the pose. Keep that left leg long. Take your right foot right onto the mat, and then take your left arm out. I'm going to twist towards the right, so you're hooking your elbow on that knee. Now, as you twist towards the right, you're purposely lengthening the spine. You're shifting your chin towards that right shoulder. You're flexing your left foot, lengthening that left leg. So we're active here. Take a comfortable breath. It's hard to take a deep belly breath and twists. And then release. Now lengthen your right leg. Bend that left foot or left knee. And then press your foot right against your thigh. You have a little bend to that knee. Lead with your chest, your heart. We're going to remain here. Quite a few breaths here. Inhale, exhale. See if you can continuously place that attention to your breath, assisting you in folding a little deeper. Up to you if you want to flex that right foot as much as you can. It's going to intensify the stretch, especially more around the calf muscle, or you can relax that right foot. Inhale, exhale. Deep belly breath. One more breath cycle here. Now start to lengthen your spine. Place that left foot onto the floor. Take your right arm out. You're twisting towards the left, and you're being attentive here and being active with your body. You're taking your gaze towards over that left shoulder. You're lengthening the spine, flexing that right foot. Take a comfortable breath. And then release, come back to center. We'll shift into a cross-legged position. Let's work a little bit more around our shoulders and neck. First, drop your chin towards your chest. Hold here. You're just noticing that natural gravity pull and open throughout the neck and upper back. Lift your head back to neutral. Now take your gaze over your right shoulder. Now take your gaze over your left shoulder. Back to center. Lift your chin here. Be gentle as you're opening up the throat, dropping your head back to a point you're comfortable with. Back to center. Shoulders up towards your ears and then draw them back down. A couple of times here. Second time. Let's go for a third round. Now as I'm drawing my shoulders down, very purposely bringing my shoulder blades closer together. Inhale, lift your arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers, palms up, stretch towards the left. Hold. You're still grounding your sit bones. Those are the bones near your glutes. Ground them on the floor. And then back to center, opposite side. Hold here. Back to center here. Round your spine, palms towards the front. Release your hands. Inhale, lift your arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers. So this time we're taking our interlaced fingers right behind our head. Now first check in with elbows. Elbows pressed towards the back of the room. Leading through your core, your chest, twist towards the left. And then the opposite side. We'll start to move here at your own pace. You can linger on one side significantly longer. It's hard to take those deep breaths and those twists, so find that comfortable breath. And release. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Interlace your fingers, round your spine, chin towards chest. Deep belly breath. And I'll tilt your hand or shift forward. We're going to move into our forward fold. Once in our forward fold, we check in with our neck. Our neck is relaxed. Our feet are about hips width distance apart. Inhale, exhale. Press through your feet. Lift your arms up overhead. Hands in front of your heart center. I'm going to take a little grounding breath work here. We're inhaling and exhale for the day we've had so far. Inhale and exhale for this moment. And inhale and exhale for the rest of your day. If your eyes are closed, open your eyes, release your hands. Inhale, arms lift up overhead, palms up towards the ceiling. We lift our heels halfway or all the way up, activating our balance here. You can keep your gaze steady towards one point of the room or floor. Noticing that effort and ease in this pose. Notice what requires effort, what creates ease. Inhale. Exhale. Release your heels, release your hands. We're going to take our hands right behind us, draw our shoulder blades closer together, a little bend to our knees. We fold all the way down to our forward fold. We soften our neck. We stitch our shoulder blades closer together. Hands to your shins. We inhale halfway up. Exhale, release. Make sure your neck is relaxed here. Now when you lift halfway up, check your shoulders, slide them down. Release. Inhale, last round. Halfway up. Exhale, release, roll up slowly. It's an intentional practice of physically letting go. Head comes up last. We bring our shoulders down. Inhale, exhale, you can sigh it out. If your eyes are closed, open your eyes. We'll shift into our warrior one. Taking our left foot forward, we step our right leg back. That right foot is in a diagonal. Check your left knee. You want to bend that to about a 90-degree angle. Now, check your hips. Square your hips towards the front. So that's generally a good order to go about your warrior one. Checking in your feet, creating that bend while simultaneously making sure those hips square towards the front as much as you can. We'll have a natural tendency of opening up towards the right. And then let's lift our arms up overhead. We're going to try warrior one here. We're looking straight ahead. Our gaze is focused. This type of warrior one, we tuck in our core, our spine is long, and our gaze finds a point. Now we'll stay here a few breaths here. You're breathing into your toes, your heels, your glutes, hamstrings. They're active, supporting you here. Hamstrings are opening up. Glutes are using lots of strength. There's a lot of strength here around your quads as well. Tuck in your core. Your core is active, supporting your torso. Your arms are strong. They're radiating. Inhale. Exhale. We'll start to take our gaze up towards the ceiling. Now you can take both hands to touch. Now release your hands, cup your forearms with your hands. Release that bend to that left knee. You can still have a little bend to that knee. It's helpful here as we fold over, and then we fold about halfway where our chest is about parallel to the floor. If you want a more intense stretch around the shoulders, you can also come into a reverse prayer, both palms touching. That is an option. Steady your breath. Drop your belly all the way down towards your thigh. Drop your hands to frame that left foot. Watch your neck. Neck is relaxed. Breathe into your left hip, left hamstring. Inhaling and exhaling. A little bend to that left knee, or you can try to lengthen that leg for a deeper stretch. And then we'll start to prepare for standing splits. That means we're going to inch our hands forward. Hands are right beneath our shoulders. You're planting that left foot firmly onto the floor as you're simultaneously lifting that right leg as high as you can. Dropping your belly towards your thigh. Neck is relaxed. Head is soft. Inhale. Exhale. Right foot meets that left foot. Both feet are parallel to each other, hips width distance apart. We take our hands to our shins. Inhale halfway up 3 times. Exhale. Release. Move into your second and third time. And then after that third cycle, your choice how you come up to standing. You can roll up slowly or sweep your arms up overhead. Any way it works. Hands in front of your heart center or hands framing your hips. Take a moment here. Practicing some of the more difficult parts of yoga is that inner stillness. Distribute the weight of your weight around the edges of your feet, toes and heels, outside edges and inside edges. Notice the base of the spine all the way up to the top of the head. If your eyes are closed, you can start to open your eyes. We'll take our right foot forward, left foot steps back. Check your stance, check your heels. Bring that 90-degree bend to your knees. Bring your hips towards the front. Lift your arms up. We'll remain here 3 breaths. Take your gaze forward. Tuck in your core. Spine is long. Take your gaze up towards the ceiling. Little arch here to your spine. Take a breath. Remember to engage your glutes, your quads. They're active supporting you in this warrior one. Release your hands behind you. Cup your forearms or come into reverse prayer with both palms touching. You can lengthen that right leg and still maintain a little bend here as you dip your chest so it's parallel to the floor and hold. Inhale. Exhale. Release your belly all the way down towards your thigh. Optional, keep your hands lifted or drop your hands to frame that right foot. Most of your attention is that right hip, right behind that right knee. Start to prepare for your standing split. Inch your hands forward. Place weight on that right foot. Lift your left leg as high as you can. Drop your belly towards your thigh. Inhale. Exhale. Left foot meets that right foot. Hands to shins. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale. Release. Second time out of 3. And then after that third round, inhale halfway up. Exhale, release. We'll step back into a downward facing dog. We're lifting our hips as high as we can. We're pressing through our palms, bringing our chest closer towards our thighs. Hold here. And then release your knees down towards the floor. Step back, child's pose. Knees close together or towards the edges of your mat. 5 to 10 breaths here. If you have trouble concentrating, lengthen your inhale and exhale just a little longer than you're accustomed to. Generous breath here. Inhale, exhale. Start to inch that right hand towards the left corner of your mat. Hold. And then release that right hand. Left hand inches towards the right corner of your mat. Hold. Release your hand. Inhale, lift up into your downward facing dog. Take a moment here to pedal your feet back and forth. Opening hips and hamstrings. We're continuously opening up those throughout the class. Breathe into the back of your legs. Now lift that right leg, bend that knee, stack your hips to the right. So bend to that right knee. Press firmly through your palms. Take another deep belly breath. Release your foot back down towards the floor. Opposite side, lift your left leg, bend your left knee, stack your hips. Release that foot. Take your gaze right between your hands. Walk or jump up to your forward fold. One round, hands to shins. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. We'll sweep our arms up overhead. Hands in front of our heart center. We draw our shoulders down. We inhale and exhale. Eyes closed or open. Welcome your breath. As we practice welcoming our breath, we practice welcoming our experience. Inhale. Exhale. Very good. We'll start to plant, come into a balance. We're going to plant our right foot firmly onto the floor and then rest our foot right against our ankle. Take a moment there to adjust your balance. You'll invite a deeper bend to that knee. Now you're going to take your right hand to grab your right big toe. You're bending your knee. You're grabbing your big toe. Now you have the option of just grabbing your knee with your hands and then working here. Your foot can also be closer towards the floor. But take that hand to grab that toe, lengthen your leg, open up towards the left. You can bring your arm out for extra support. Another deep belly breath here. Come back to center. Keep a nice bend to your knee. Hold here. You can take that right arm out for extra support. Now rest your ankle, your shin on your thigh. Bend your knee. Now you're dropping deeply here. Bending your knee, lifting your tailbone. A lot of balance here. You're bringing your shoulders back. For strength, notice what requires effort and ease. If you're comfortable with this, drop your hands all the way down towards the floor, keeping that shin or ankle on your thigh. Relax your neck. Drop your belly towards the floor. Keep a nice bend to that knee, both knees. And then drop your foot on the floor. Hands to your shins. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Your choice how you come up to standing, rolling up slowly, or sweeping your arms up overhead. Once again, we welcome our breath. We welcome our experience. Release your hands, gently activating our balance. We take our foot to rest right against our left ankle. Adjust here. Bend your knees, lift your knee. You can remain here, grabbing your knee with your hands. Or you can grab that big toe, lengthen your leg as much as you can. Bring that left arm out. Either remaining here or opening your leg towards the right. Inhale. Exhale. Come back to center. Rest that ankle or thigh right on that ankle or shin right onto your thigh. Bend your left knee. You're lifting your tailbone, lifting your glutes here. Hands are right in front of your chest. Lots of balance here. Actually, deep belly breath. You can start to drop your hands all the way down towards the floor. If you're comfortable, keep your leg lifted. If not, drop your foot on the floor. Release into a forward fold. Inhale here. Exhale, release your foot. Let's inhale halfway up once. Exhale, release. We're going to shift into a wide-legged forward fold from here. So you're planting your hands on the mat, and now you're starting to spread your feet. You have a little bend to your knees. You drop your belly, your heart down towards your chest. Or sorry, I misspoke. You drop your belly towards the floor. Neck is soft. Hands can remain on the floor. You can also cup your elbows with your hands. Feel free to hear your inhale and your exhale. And then release your hands. Start to bring your feet closer together. Butt hips width distance apart. 3 rounds. We inhale halfway up. Exhale, release. Inhale halfway up, sliding your shoulders back. Back is flat. Exhaling, releasing. Neck and head are soft. And then after that 3rd round, your choice how you come up to stand. Hands in front of your heart center. We take an inhale here, exhale. Release your hands. We're going to move into a chair pose. Bend your knees. Take your arms out. Your glutes are active, quads are active. You're grounding through your heels. Your arms radiate forward. Steady your gaze. Notice that paradox of effort and ease in this pose. Invite a deep belly breath. Use that breath to support you in this strength. Inhale. Exhale. Release. 1 round. Inhale halfway up. Exhale. Release. Step back into your downward facing dog. Once in your down dog, we'll lift our right leg, bend our knees, stack our hips. Release your foot back down towards the floor. Opposite side, lift your left leg, bend your knees, stack your hips. And then release your foot back down towards the floor, drop your knees, and then we'll step back into our child's pose. Bring your attention back to your breath. If you have trouble concentrating, just lengthen your inhale and exhale a little longer than you're accustomed to. Inhale. Exhale. Release. We'll shift back up into a tabletop, hands right beneath your shoulders. Check your knees, or about hips width distance apart. Inhale up into a cow pose. Exhale into your cat pose, just a couple of times here with your breath. Making sure you're taking care of the spine from the neck, upper back, mid back, lower back, around the tailbone. You want to be generous here, being very purposeful, grounding through your palms, tops of the feet on the floor, tucking your chin towards your chest as much as you can in your cat pose. In your cow pose, you want to make sure you're lifting your tailbone as much as you can. Chest is open, and then our shoulders have a tendency to crunch up, slide them down and back. One more round. And then press that left hand onto the floor. We'll lift our right arm up towards the ceiling. So as I'm reaching up, I'm also pressing my hand back. That way my shoulder opens up towards the right. And extends more there. And then needle pose, drop your shoulder right onto the floor. Lift your left leg up towards, or left arm up towards the ceiling. You can also rest your hand on your lower back or hip. One breath. And release. Opposite side. This time we lift our left arm up towards the ceiling. And then release your shoulder right onto the mat. Lift your right arm up towards the ceiling or rest it on your lower back. Inhale. And exhale. Release. Inhale up, cow pose. Exhale, round your spine into your cat pose. And then release. We'll come to sit. Our cross-legged position. So a 3-breath meditation. First, notice a natural breath, a breath that you don't really control. The next breath, see if we can lengthen your inhale and exhale just a little longer than you're accustomed to. And then on your third breath cycle, big inhale, exhale, side out. If your eyes are closed, you open your eyes. We'll bend both knees, soles of the feet on the floor. You have 2 options. You can take your hands right. We're preparing for a boat pose. And it's going to require some quad strength and core strength. We're going to lift our legs up. Know that you have 2 options with your hands. You can take your hands right beneath your thighs and grab, and that's going to give you some more support. Or you can take your palms up towards the ceiling. Now, it's very critical that you imagine a cord or a chain lift your chest, lift your core up towards the ceiling. It's going to help stabilize you and just make sure you're not collapsing around the back. We'll lift your legs. Imagine that core, drop your shoulders down. It's a difficult pose because you're both in balance and strength here. It's a little more difficult to take that deep belly breath here. Inhale, you're lifting and lengthening the legs as much as you can. And then release your legs, palms up towards the ceiling. Slowly shift down, chin towards chest, and hold and hover. Feet will either hover off the floor or you can rest your feet on the floor. And then drop your head back. Let's inhale here, exhale, side out. You'll lift your arms up overhead, full body stretch as we did earlier in class. Gently stretching throughout the arms, noticing the difference here as you've opened up throughout the length of your body. Release your hands. Start to bend that right knee, lengthen your leg up towards the ceiling. Interlace your fingers behind your knee. Rotate that ankle clockwise and counterclockwise. We tend not to pay too much attention to toes and heels, balls of the feet. Take a moment here. If you're wanting a deeper calf stretch, point your toes downwards towards you as much as you can. And you press it. Your goal is to press your heel up so that your toes tilt down. It can be very subtle. Lengthen your leg and stretch your calf there. Inhale. Drop your leg towards the left. Hold here. Breathing to hamstrings and hips here. Your right hip. Even your lower back. Right glute as well. And then drop your leg towards the right. You can also grab your big toe with your hand. Drop your leg towards the right here. You can flex that left foot for some more stability. You can bring your left arm up. Release, come back to center, or drop that leg on the mat. Now bend your left knee, lengthen your leg up towards the ceiling. Focus on your ankle. You can always flex that right foot towards the front for some more stability. Focus on your calf muscle by pointing your toes downwards towards you, pressing that left heel up towards the ceiling as much as you can. Almost as if you're bringing the top of your foot closer towards your shin. Inhale. And start to bring your leg closer towards you. Focus on your hamstring here. We're going to drop our leg towards the right. Your awareness can go anywhere from your lower back, left glute, left hip, hamstring. Notice what opens up for you. And then drop your leg towards the left. You have the option of grabbing your big toe with your left fingers. Bring your right arm out. Flex that right foot towards the front. And then release. Come back to center. Bend both knees. Rock to the left, to the right. We'll come into our butterfly pose. Soles of the feet touch. Hands. Notice where you want to position your hands and arms. It makes a difference. So your hands can be backs of the hands on the floor, framing hips. You can rest your hands on your belly or chest. You can also lift your arms up overhead, backs of the hands on the floor. This will invite a subtle little arch to your spine. And then soften. You're opening throughout the hips. You can imagine your knees melting further towards the floor. Scan your body, see where can you soften just a little bit more. And then take a few deep belly breaths. These are the deep belly breaths you can return to throughout your day. Refamiliarize yourself with that deep belly breath. 3 more breaths. Welcome your breath, welcome your experience. And then start to lengthen your legs out. We're preparing for our last and final resting pose. Palms face the ceiling, backs of the hands on the floor. Notice the quality of your breath. Let's inhale here, exhale, side out. Soften your forehead and jaw, neck and shoulders, down the length of your arms to your wrists, palms, and fingertips. Soften your back, releasing the upper back, mid back, lower back. Soften the hips, down to behind the knees, to your ankles and toes. Either breathing deeply or letting your breath go back to its natural rhythm. We'll start to shift our attention back to our breath, inviting a generous and leisurely inhale and exhale. You can restore some movement to your fingertips and your toes. And you can either invite a full body stretch, lifting your arms up overhead, and or turn your body to the left or to the right. Once again, inviting a generous and leisurely breath. It's a particular type of breath. And after another breath, start to make your way up to your seat. And to sit in the cross-legged on your ankles, or if you prefer to stretch your legs out, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, we'll seal the class with an intentional breath, noticing that when we notice our breath, we're welcoming our experience. So in gratitude, we take our hands in front of our heart center. And let's inhale here. And exhale. And in the tradition of yoga, the highest in me sees the highest in you. Namaste.